sure many of you know him, but today I'd be like to talk about Kegaman. You want to introduce
Hello,
yourself?
hello, I'm Kegaman. I'm currently a degenerate NEET on the internet right now, living in SoCal, which is, yep, by myself right now.
Nothing wrong with that. Everybody takes stuff at their own time. So, yeah, I think I'd like to talk to you about just some of your experiences as a content creator and all your experience with just like different Team Fortress 2 regions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what got you into competitive initially?
Someone from a community server, which is known as Phoenix Hightower server. So I can hit you with the link. I can hit you the link if I can try to find the link.
Oh yeah, sure. If you want to send me the link, I'll go and display that for a little bit.
Like it called Phoenix Hightower server. It kind of like it before Valve kind of messed up the server algorithm where you do quick play. Remember the old way of finding random community server?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Valve kind of just messed it up, or could say the Team Fortress team messed it up.
Right.
I got into third party competitive because one person asked me within the Hightower server. It is the Hightower server, man.
Okay. And what class did you initially get into in competitive?
Heavy.
Okay. Let's see. And that would be back in season 17 of North American Iron?
You are quick.
Okay. Alright. So, you've played in other regions as well, though, right? Like Asia, Australia. So,
That was during the year 2019 and 2020. Wait. No, I lied. It was actually 2020 and 2021
okay.
when I was in Taiwan.
So, but then besides that, it's pretty much just been like a lot of like North America, yeah.
Wait, what?
But besides that, it's just been like mostly North American Highlander, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was your initial experience when it came to getting into Highlander in other regions like Asia and Australia?
Huh? So basically, what I can tell you different about Australia Highlander is like they full horde in Borneo and full horde on CPCOA. Like, okay, like what?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, but
Yeah.
what was your sort of what was your experience getting into it, sort of to begin with?
For Australia Highlander, well,
Yeah.
I would say the difference is like the ping, like ping, like really high ping. It like the team that I got into was mostly Asian players from third party competitive of Asia Highlander. The people I was playing with were within the Asia Highlander community who have actual competitive experience. Yes, they do have some success experiences as well.
Okay. And just how was it getting into initially, though? Did you have a particularly easy time getting in? Did you have a hard time? Like, how hard was it to find a team in those regions?
There are also Australian Highlander team that I joined was made after me and Jin were inside a different Highlander team with actual Australian Highlander team with someone from Asia as well into it. But fortunately, that team is kind of like dead, quotation dead, because the team leader refused to play with combo and was running vlog. So basically, me left at heavy and Jin left at
I see.
scout. So basically, I joined what Jin made. He made a team that is mostly Asian players to play in the Australian also Highlander League. But fortunately, we got knocked out in playoffs. So yeah.
What was the team name?
Okay.
Oh, is it a smoking sexy style?
Nope. Nope. It's called. It was called Smoking Sexy Style, but it was called it used to be called as a different name.
Catman's Cafe Paradise?
You are correct.
Okay. And it looks like they had a decent few, like, out-of-region players rostered, as well, like European players. Yeah?
Yeah, one European player. Someone from Greenland or from Iceland.
And
Maybe if from Greenland. His name is it's something like that.
yeah, like I believe I recognized like Catman, Cannon, maybe Barth is Europeans. I think Cannon's like.
No, Catman is from Asia.
But there's a European Catman as well. Interesting
Yeah.
to hear though. But then I think Cannon's Finland, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, what was it like having people from multiple regions, like, while also being an out-of-region player yourself?
Well, technically, it was interesting. Like the communication are a little bit different. They are mostly unfiltered or always unfiltered. When I say that, they have no control on their vocabularies.
Right. So it's just like a lot of different communicative styles clashing. Like, people are used to what it's like in Europe, then you yourself with like a little bit of
Asia.
North America
In Asia.
And then that's in Asia as well.
I'm talking about in Asia. I'm talking about in Asia. In Asia, like the communication is different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like just remember, it all about the language barrier in Asia.
Right, like when I was playing Asia, it felt like the people were a lot more like kind of like reserved and introverted when it came to their speech. Like they're usually a lot less vocal. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes like that, or really talkative.
I see.
Where they have no control of their vocabulary.
That's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when did you really get into like streaming and content creation in Team Fortress 2?
I won't mention about that person name, but it's someone that we used to know. But yet that person just made himself even worse, and he's currently banned in RGL, and it seemed like he done with video game or still around, but yet that person is still trying to like, hey, Kegaman, unban me, and like, I'm sorry, and like, no, you were being a butthole guy.
Right, so, it's good to draw a line and have some standards.
So basically, maybe I was in Taiwan to say, hey, like, do that and that, etc. Like, first time doing it was like more than 5 years ago. Let me find that clip. I know someone tried to do a testing. Someone clipped a testing clip. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. Like me testing out, but the downside is that I was gaming on my gaming laptop, and the config is so bad. Like, yeah, it was like 5 years ago. I did my very first testing stream, but 4 years ago, after I went to a community college class and I met someone who used to do streaming, he kind of helped me out on it, and I still use the same gaming laptop. and it turned out to be better on how to do it properly without the use of a config. And then I still have it on Steam, but yet I never talked to him for a really long time.
Have you ever thought about getting, like, back in touch with them in person or so, or, like...
I can talk to him on Steam, but yet I think he just wants to focus on his stuff. So it basically, me do my stuff, he do his stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely fair.
Because it had been more than 4 years of actually interacting that person, and that probably the last time of me doing community college.
Okay. So, what's it been like as a Team Fortress 2 content creator? Like, how has your experience been as a streamer? Do you get recognized a lot when you go into a server like maybe Oprah's Bartertown?
On me, Oprah's was like more than 2 years ago. I got introduced by Lady. Lady is a really cool person that I know back in Team Fortress 2 Center. Like, she started. Okay, I've been informed that she started streaming 4 years ago. Similar to the same year when I started streaming. While being a Team Fortress 2 Center players as well. And yeah. So that server was introduced by her.
Okay.
So,
yeah, would you just like to talk about some of your experiences as like a streamer and content creator for a bit? Maybe like favorite memories, stuff along those lines.
A lot of subs dropping, donation dropping in the past years, and also just get drop rated. Like, people drop rates on me. Like, okay, wow. I think the best experience I have is that, like, me struggling in Home Depot Esport as medic back in season 25, and people like drop by that we was defeating 33 Gal, and it's still going. Like, I believe that people who dropped by that stream was like done with their visual match, while Home Depot Esport was still defeating 33 Gal. So, like, wow, I think that is the best experience ever of the 33 Gal stuff.
So
you never heard of 33 Gal before?
I have. I'm just not very familiar with their players personally. Or like with them.
I've been informed that they have really interesting people there.
Yeah, I've heard as much as well. Just don't have many first-hand experiences to recall. So, let's see here. What usually makes you decide to go and start streaming on a day? Is it just sort of the thing where it's like you start playing and then you find yourself being like, oh, I want to like showcase this, I want to interact with my viewers? Or is it a sort of thing where it's like you wake up on a day and it's like you kind of schedule it?
For me, I usually want to play Team Fortress 2. Nowadays I want to play Team Fortress 2 that is ranged from Friday to Monday. That are usually the time when to get warm up on Team Fortress 2. However, if I want to play with someone else and they have their own schedule, then I will commit to their schedule as well. Like, example, play Hyping Gaming with a Filipino VTuber streamer named Karamaki-chan. Really cool person that I met when I was back in Taiwan for that 10 months period before heading back to California in July 1st last year. So yeah. So yes, I have experience with Hyping Gaming, whether I'm in Taiwan or in California. It's about the same of having like 180 ping. So yeah.
Hmm. What was your favorite season of competitive? Would it be that season?
Season 25 was very interesting because I have no experience with compared, but yet, hmm, I think the season when I was used to be part of Stinking, like used to be called Stinking back in UGC, like play heavy, and that's the time when I met Nofo, like back in season 23 of UGC Highlander, like season 23, where I met Nofo. And we used to have a player named Cat. Cat is a sniper player, but yet she is not really a Team of Two player no more, but yet she does stream Valorant, Overwatch, and the piano on her stream of Twitch.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. It feels like a lot of Team Fortress 2 players are kind of favorable to Valorant as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. What were some interesting things for you in the Asian or Australian scene? Like, what was something that you enjoyed more about those than North America Highlander-wise?
Australian seem a little bit okay, even though with high ping. But in Asia, my god, you need to get good in Asia. I'm not even joking. There's no between. You either be bad or good.
Right. It's like a kind of smaller playable pool, and there's like a drastic skill variance, right? Like the top and then for everything else, yeah.
Yeah. If you talk about UGC Asia League, or could say quotation A TF2L, but yet they have a new league, but yet they still use UGC. Is that like they are like steel, silver, and platinum, and either that you are good or not. And yes, there's some problem with quotation sandbagging. So yeah.
Did you find it to be an enjoyable experience regardless, or was it kind of diminished by that?
Diminished, like, wow. It probably like the get good moment. We need to get good moment, even though because the calm can be quite controversial as well.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry, carry on.
Okay. Proceed.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, what's your favorite part of being a content creator?
Just interact, since I aim to be a really underrated streamer. Being underrated is the fun part. If you have a lot of people, it's hard to interact with the people that really want to interact with the people. So it like I've been informed by someone that person dislike interacting in big view count stream. But for me, I'm not really have a lot of view count, so that means it's a win-win for those type of people, because they're able to like quotation socialize. So yeah.
Right, like you're able to interact with and kind of cater to the individual a lot more, yeah?
Yeah, since it's a laid back stream, or my schedule of streaming in general is really gremlin like, where they have no schedule or something like that. And it mostly playing Timber 2. If I play something else, like to be honest, most people will say that like branching out from Timber 2 is the hardest part, because you form yourself as the individual within that community, and if you try to branch out, it's really hard that you need to pick up your pace based on your personality and your gaming skill. If you want to branch out from Timber 2, so I just stick to Timber 2 for a really long time.
How have you found that to work out? Has it been fulfilling?
Well, the years go by. I need to pick up my pace because I'm literally 5 more years before I become in my 30s. So yeah,
So you're feeling like a little bit of of pressure, yeah?
yeah, and a little bit getting worn out. But in general, just do what I can do.
Hmm. Yeah, of course. It's like
Yeah,
always just good to take things at your own pace.
yeah.
So you have
I
your
just,
own. Sorry.
I just do streaming at my own matter. Even though in the past I was quotation mostly unfiltered, but nowadays I'm still mostly unfiltered. But yet, this I need to. I'm still learning on how to control myself within the interaction within both stream and within the conversation and the control while streaming
Hmm.
as much as possible.
So
So yeah.
do you think streaming has kind of like allowed you to kind of like grow socially, kind of like how to learn to like control yourself a bit more socially?
Kind of, and also try to keep track of myself. The thing I need to focus on is being aware on do not mind about on how I speak, and do not really repeat the same sentence or story over and over again. So I need to learn on how to speak just straightforward and just say it once unless the person did not heard it yet before.
Right. So what you're looking for is kind of just like more context clues, kind of like to see how other people respond before you respond, kind of going forward.
Yeah, it more like just say it once unless they didn't hear me type.
Right. Okay, that definitely makes sense. It's always good to have some goals when it comes to
Yeah,
like social
I
stuff.
still struggle with it of me repeating.
So question.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking at your Twitch, and yeah, you have a speech impediment. How has that been like for you?
I think it's just part of me now.
Hmm. Is it something you've already always had, or is it something that like sort of developed or so?
Always been had because I was born and raised in a English speaking slash Mandarin speaking family, so it was going back and forth on like English and Chinese at the same time, going back and forth of hearing and speaking, but it mostly hearing. I'm not really a person that will talk before reaching to 6 year old. So that I've been informed that I never reached a talkable toddler or person before reaching 6 year old. So yeah, the first word that I've been informed by my mom was ball, like ball, BALL, like ball, like I say ball.
Right.
That's really the first word. I'm not talking about the man balls. I'm talking about the ball. So yeah.
I get it. I get it. So does it feel like is it something that like people normally like mistreat you over, or are most people actually kind of nice about it?
Mixed bag. So if I read, okay, it basically on the internet, people will notice my speech impairment and like, like bully me on that part. But as years ago, if they bully me because of my speech impairment, like, well, just let it roll off, just brush it off. But way back then, like, yeah, it kind of like that. But as time go by, like, um, just brush it off because I know it is to have that. And yeah, I used to take speech therapist courses way back then, but yet I stopped doing that because not I do not really practice at home. Like I have problem saying the difference between sophistic and prophesic. So that are those two words I have trouble saying, like the PA and the SP for Pacific, like Pacific and Pacific. Like if you can know the difference on my pronunciation there, or how to pronounce it there. And like I have some problem with my certain speech. So yeah. And also my wording, like the word I use, also can relate to my conversation as well, where I go either in this barely go in a straight line, but go in a full circle in a loop.
Okay. So it's like a little bit repetitive sometimes, yeah, when it comes to the speech patterns.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, kind of like starting to stream, becoming a content creator, becoming known by people as a result of it, and developing a bit of a community around yourself has kind of helped you be able to, like, deal with people being rude to you over it? Like, just establishing that as a bit of a support network?
People who are familiar with me sometimes stay. People who are bad apple, probably walk away and never come back, or will come back, but yet, yeah, it's based on the given content of them heading back or something like that. It basically people basically I will deal with people who have annoyed me and who are really just bad apple. Just as time go by, it's more about the interaction wise of dealing with those type of annoying people and bad apples. Like it basically how much tolerance I have with them. But as time go by, like need to develop myself to ignore the trolls within the Twitch chat. But way back then, it like really mostly unfiltered on that part where I have more engagement with them. But that is kind of like a lose-lose scenario wise. So nowadays, just try to avoid interacting with the trolls as much as possible. Like give them the silent treatment.
That's some pretty good advice. Yeah, I feel like that.
I got that from Lighty as well. So yeah.
Okay. So how is the competitive scene? Like, how did they treat you in regards to the speech impediment? Like, are competitive players usually kind to you, or is it just like something that some of them make fun of as well?
It mostly people who are not familiar with me.
Right.
Like example, like I was going into the like a really different place when I was doing third party competitive in Asia. Like my communication is different, so that means like yeah, it probably they say they have an accent or something like that. Like anywhere that I go in, like, do you have an accent? And like, no, that's how I speak. And I mainly use English, even though I still struggle with English. But when I was doing like Asia, like yeah, like they can probably tell that my communication is quite different compared to theirs.
Right.
But if I were to play in a Highlander team, like people who aren't really familiar with me will like notice about my speech, or people who are familiar with me, like, hey, Kegaman, what's up? And stuff like that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
How does it feel to sort of like have that sort of really nice reputation, that like of being just like an outgoingly positive influence, like, and it's just like being recognized wherever you go, like having everybody be like, hey, it's Kegaman. Is that something you end up like enjoying a lot? Is it kind of fun?
It kind of like that inner ego, like, hey, that's cool. I usually ask some people, like, when you first time heard about Kegaman, or the first time you actually met Kegaman, and when you think what you think about me now scenario, right? It kind of that type of inner ego, but yeah, I think I should not really engage with that. But it more like like me doing that is more like understanding what I used to be as a person way back then, or compared to the person I'm trying to be as in this current time. So yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you major in college? You said you were doing community college a few years ago?
I used to do. It was an attempt of majoring in graphic design, but
Ah,
that kind of like on the hook because I failed multiple time on taking the required course, which is communication. So I probably like just bail out on communication. There was one semester of communication where I actually tried to do stuff, but I sadly just got a low grade because of my commitment. Because it was a fear of interacting with that professor, so I got a bad grade. But the rest of the communication courses I have taken was basically on a bail. Like I bail out from it without completing the course.
okay.
But yet I still can retake the graphic design one course. So yeah. But the communication is basically I cannot take communication no more. I cannot take it for the first time no more. Or the fourth time no more. So yeah.
Right.
It was okay, I already did communication 4 times. One of the 4 times of taking it is that I actually got a bad grade and actually finished the course. Which is a bad grade, but the rest of them are like just bailing out shortly. Because it was the time of still committing to third party competitive of Team 42. Which was like interesting, very interesting.
Okay. So,
The season. Oh,
so,
sorry.
no, sorry. Go on.
Okay. The season that really showed about like the difference between third party competitive doing and real life stuff quotation community college was way back in back in season 22. Season 22 was season 22 of UGC was the season where like that team want to do like weekdays Highlander swim, like okay, and then but yet that is kind of like get my mom is sick, so they got a substitute, but that team died before they do the week 5, and we know when I went to say week 5, it was relating to CPC week, so that team died because that I've been informed that team had failed so many times on CPC to the point where they died. So yeah.
All right. So if you don't mind me asking, what is
Yeah.
what is life like in Taiwan?
Very convenient. Downside is that I'm more likely a person who like to play in North American servers. So that is also a one major downside, but in Taiwan it's very convenient. Truly, truly convenient.
And they have like a lot of tech over there as well, right? Like they make like a lot of processing chips.
Yeah, you're correct. There's some special kind of store. If you go to a district in Taipei, you can go buy and purchase electronic places, and they have a building dedicated to mainly electronic. So it's a building that it connect to a apartment building. So yeah.
Okay. Is there ever like a sense of just like anxiety and dread amongst the people, like given the like political relationship between the People's Republic of China and Taiwan? Or is it like something that doesn't actually bother the people there on a day-to-day basis that much?
So it basically like some people in Taiwan want to be independent from China, but in reality, it just have a positive relationship with China. That type of feeling. Like if they try to be independent, then that will be bad for Taiwan, where like there will be some like ban from China that hey, no tourism for you, or something like that, or refuse to get imports from Taiwan. It kind of like that relationship. So I think as time go by, you gotta know that Taiwan must have a good relationship with China, even though there are people inside Taiwan like want to be independent from China, but it still be like a good relationship over being independent with China.
I see.
Yeah, like there's like I forgot about the difference between the Green Party and the Blue Party, but one of the party is relating to having a good country relationship with China, and the other one is being independent. But but usually it's really smart to go for the country relationship with China party, which is actually the better one over the independent country from China.
From what I can see, the Green Party is about independence, and then the Blue Party is like more about integration. Yeah.
Integration meaning like being a good relationship with, try to attempt of being a good relationship with that country, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Are you okay there?
Yes, I am just laughing at my misspeaking. I just want my social credit score, okay? So anyways.
Oh no, you have -1 billion.
Yeah.
Credit.
That's funny.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay. So back to TF2 and online community. So you run a Discord, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How has that been? Has that been like an enjoyable investment? Do you enjoy kind of like cultivating a community on there?
Wait, what was the question again? Sorry.
I was just wondering, like, what are your experiences like with just like running that Discord?
Oh, the white field. It's a sleeper. Make sure that Discord server is a sleeper. Most people will interact in the ship posting channel anyway. So yeah.
Okay. Is it still?
Yeah, it's a sleeper. My Discord server is just a sleeper. Just let it be, and yeah.
Do you enjoy observing people in there from time to time? Just
I observe. Yes, I observe my Discord server. But yeah, I would like to add some changes to my Discord server. I was planning to do it before May, but since in May, like probably do it later on. Actually doing stuff for myself that is relating to Twitch, Discord, and the Steam account that I have.
Okay.
Like I was trying to do some conversations, spring cleaning on Steam, Discord, and Twitch. But I really just been procrastinating on that part.
So, and that's fine, you know, it takes time. I honestly do the same thing with my Discord, but what would you have in mind in terms of changes for your Discord? Like, what's your plan for it going forward?
Create a role where people can ping people who also have that role, or a specific role to be ping on, hey, like that person is streaming. And so I have a channel dedicated to self-promotion. I'm okay with self-promotion.
Yeah.
That's why I'm okay getting stream sniped outside of third-party competitive.
Ooh. Actually, speaking of that, do you end up getting stream sniped often?
Way back then, yes. And way back then, before started streaming, yes, I do stream snipe other people. So that's why I'm okay with stream sniping. Getting stream snipe, because I used to attempt to do stream snipe.
Okay. So, what made you initially start stream sniping people? Like, what was the motivation?
the interaction and yeah, for the law.
Okay.
For
So,
the law and yeah.
do,
Like example, Uncle Dane Uncle Dane one time, Funky one time, maybe a little bit of Blind Pyro, and it's hard to stream like Stabby, but yet, like wherever I join a server that have Stabby, yeah, that is Stabby. But attempting to stream Snipe Stabby is a little bit harder because Stabby is aware of being stream sniped.
have you been streamed sniped yourself much?
What do you mean?
Like, have other people stream sniped you much, or not really?
That was in the past. So yeah, so that's why I'm okay in getting stream sniped. Whether it's from okay people, but if it's bad people who are trying to stream snipe me, then that actually happened. But yet in reality, as time go by, it's really hard for me to get stream sniped while I'm being allowed to get stream sniped because it's relating to playing on open personalization. But way back then when was doing stuff relating to Asia, I do actually got stream sniped when was doing Asia stuff.
And
like example, playing with Karamaki, like on both Man Machine and Uncletopia getting stream sniped together.
And how did that feel? Did it like negatively impact your mental state that much, or not really?
It basically that feeling of annoyance of negatively getting stream sniped. Where, example, me and Karamaki-chan will play on Uncletopia. A individual that could be known as Omega Troll Nick was DOSing the server. Like whether it can be casual or Uncletopia, or it can be relating to Man versus Machine. And people have already attempted to stream snipe me back in the years of starting to stream me on Twitch. So basically, yes, it does be the win-lose scenario of getting stream snipes. So I remember a good time where I was getting harassingly stream sniped when doing casual by two individuals, and yet there was vandalizing my Twitch channel in the comment section and the follower alert. So it came to point of wasting my time and wasting their time by joining a community server, and they started hacking in that server to the point where they actually got banned. So that considered wasting their time. But in reality, I was actually doing the lose-lose because I was actually giving the troll what they want before I get that advice from Lady.
Okay.
So yeah.
Did you have any?
Yeah. I do have some. Yes, I do have some negative experience of getting stream sniped.
Okay. Do you have any other people who really like inspired you or gave you advice or helped guide you along the way as a content creator?
Lady, and
Right.
and I would say that Lady is much more mature than me, and that is basically the thing there.
Okay. Do you have any art you want to show?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah. I think last year and the year 2020 I was doing a lot of art, but nowadays not doing a lot of art because I'm currently taking a break from the mental strand of doing something content creating stuff, like example the CSGO Dream and Nightmare contest. That is a good example of it because it was introduced by someone from Open Station who is from Poland named Nomo, and me getting to war paint was from Trackmer. So I think that is like the mental strain from last year to the point where me doing art is like act. But me doing art nowadays for this year, like I was doing it. I'm currently still working on a rework version of my current Twitch emote called Kega Smug.
Let's take a look at that.
So the version 3 is still being worked on.
Okay.
So basically, I don't have any Steam relating to my emote. It like what I've been informed that whether you want to stick to the banana pile Steam or random. So I prefer to do random to be a little bit more versatile. But everyone like the banana pile Steam because that defines me as a person. But they should know that I'm main heavy. So yeah.
Right.
So I'm still investing. I'm still like putting my time on how to be versatile, like have variety, rather than having the banana pile Steam. Because I have a thought process on making a heavy theme emote called Kega Chat. I already did that for my wizard heavy emote, but yet I should do it in a different approach because I got the inspiration from a short filmmaker animator guy from YouTube called Chino, the one who made Princess Engage, and I really got into that when he dropped a new video called Princess Engage Extreme. So yeah, basically one character that he made called like the heavy with the security shade. So that why I got inspired to make a future emote relating to Chad, like the version 2 of Chad.
Okay.
But yet that is based on my commitment to drawing for myself before working on other people, and for myself that is not relating to Twitch. So that will probably take another year or a couple of months based on my commitment.
Alright. So, question.
Yeah?
I'm looking at your FAQ and, yeah. So, I see you asking and answering if you're homosexual or not. I was wondering if that's, like, always sort of been the case, or if that's something you've kind of just, like, gradually discovered, or that, like, you've kind of discovered, like, through content creation in the Team Fortress 2 community.
It probably self-developing myself. And it can be related, definitely it does relate to the internet. So yeah.
Okay.
So does that consider as bi in general or no? Does that relate to bi or no?
Sorry, can you rephrase that? Like, what?
Does that consider me being bi or no?
Like, what continue by in specific, though?
Sexuality.
And it's really just all about what you want to identify as yourself, yeah. But I would, like, be more towards being attracted to both genders, yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting, yeah. Trying to think of where I want to go with that question. I'm just, like, trying to think of the phrasing. Does it feel like, just, like, being upfront about that has kind of, like, changed the way people interact with you at all? Or, like, your self-image as a content creator, or not really?
Some people will know that, like, either, like, yeah, I will dig with that, and there's some part where I do not dig with that. If you talk about my sexuality, but in the engagement with the people that outside of streaming or within streaming, that is okay. Like, pretty open on that part. So yeah, just do know in real life that I do not have any type of interaction relating to a relationship. So I basically don't have a BF in general,
Okay.
or a GF who is transgender. A GF that is transgender. So yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like it's like, have you sort of like found other people with like a similar sort of like sense of sexual identity online? Like, does it feel like you've kind of been able to connect to people through that online?
There were some past people like that. I know 2 people when I was streaming on Twitch. Like someone who is like outside of my age gap. Yeah, I know someone who is outside my age gap, and another person that is more of a Overwatch person and a drag queen. But yeah, I haven't interacted with them for a really long time, so that the end of the story. I haven't interacted with them.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, I would say the first person who is actually engaged with me because of me streaming is that person was like 40-year-old.
That is something.
I know that was yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the person that I say is the drag queen was around my age group.
Okay.
But do know that I haven't interacted with them for a really long time.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, like I don't interact with all my friends that often either.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's probably about all the questions I personally want to ask you off the top of my head. Are there any you'd really like to ask and answer about yourself?
So for me, my goals are try to get back to drawing for myself only relating to Twitch. Outside of Twitch, that will be in the future of me drawing. For me, I'm still trying to be the best motherfucking heavy who is both feared and loved at the same time. I'm still aiming for that goal. Even though I want to try to get a little bit better on both medic and pyro, but yet I'm still remaining as a heavy player.
Okay.
And me going as a content creator, I would just take it nice and slow while being underrated. So,
right, like have more of a niche. I actually do have a few more questions that came to mind. What's something you feel like RGL can do better? You've played around for a bit now, you've played in a few other regions, right?
Oh yeah.
What's like the most prominent issue with RGL in your mind, or just like something that it would benefit from changing?
Well, RGL is still improving, but if you talk about I actually did a European league with the Home Depot esports people, but yet that team kind of worn down because it was like we unable to get our stuff together on CPC where Rob's computer blue screened it, and Super Lee said like me doing the main calling, where we go there, Kegaman, where we go, like and that it was the result of the host of the Home Depot esports doing European Highlander.
Yeah, I remember that. I was on that as well.
Yeah, that's how it went out. So, UGC is still doing a good part and bad part. So you can tell that UGC. No, I meant RGL. I meant RGL is still doing. It's doing their best from the past. Like the past, RGL was like still finding it past. Like as years go by, it become better than what it used to be. But for Asia is like there's no way to fix Asia because there's some flaws within the head admin and some flaws within what the individual are, and also a lot of sandbagging. There's some point of sandbagging, or actually in the league that they way won the division, but went back to the division, even though they really won the division. Like example, Magic player who won silver went back to silver, even though that individual should be in platinum.
Do you think it's something like would you be interested in seeing RGL try and do like an Asian subdivision or so, or like subdivisions for other regions?
There was a talk about that. Where RGO can do Asia League, but yet Clarity, which is who is the head admin of TF2 Highlander, kind of get a little bit negative with that. So yeah, it like if RGO land in Asia, then Clarity will probably lose most of their powers on doing Highlander stuff. So yeah, just remember Clarity did not play the game, but yet lead the team with really good, basically was writing and creating the best team in silver. Even though Clarity can be considered as a platinum player. So yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else to like say, or like any other insights into just like the status of Asian Highlander and some things you think could be done to fix the region competitively?
So the downside is that I already mentioned it basically the get good moment.
Right.
Get good at a team player and get good in skill wise.
How about like beyond that scope though?
Okay, for Asia third party competitive is that mostly on the Highlander part, but there's Asia sixes is much more popular over Highlander because Highlander is pretty chaotic. It's very truly chaotic, but sixes in Asia is less chaotic, but yet it's more like to get good scenario wise. So it basically willing to just how to fix up is that like more control on the moderation team, the staff member team, like the people who are responsible with the division and people who are responsible with being the admin or the moderator of any Asia Highlander /Sixes league. So there was a big control of power from the head admin, as I mentioned before. So it's not equal footing, I would say. Just fix up on that part and be more welcoming. Be more welcoming toward new people. Just remember, Asia is small for the TF2 competitive scene, so they gotta be more welcoming. But yet the downside is that the individual themselves are like they are good, yes, but their personality wise can be good, but yet it's more of a friend group wise, I would say. So they gotta find a way to cooperate with each other. If not, then most people will stick to sixes over Highlander because of the chaoticness and the stressedness as well.
Okay. How do you feel about the Kegaman head admin for UGC Asia?
Or RGO Highlander? No, I do not do that.
No, for UGC Highlander, for
UGC
Asia Highlander. What would the kega adminship there look like?
The same feeling of me leading a team, but with a lot of responsibility. So that would be a path for me. But yet, if RGO made a league in Asia, a lot of people need to adapt because many of them will use slurs. So they gotta adapt. So I think RGL won't happen in Asia because of how many people inside that community of Asia's third-party competitive will use slurs. They actually, that's why I say they have no control of their vocabulary.
Right.
But if they really want to adapt, they need to limit their vocabulary to become better good and won't get in trouble or get suspended for a while. So yeah.
Okay. And do you think there's anybody who's like particularly suited to the job, like of spearheading that sort of community initiative and change?
Submarine, who
Okay.
used to be a silver division moderator back in the first season of ATF12, aka Enforced UGC Asian Highlander, but yet it basically due to the head admin problem where he stepped down as a silver division moderator. So Submarine stepped down for a reason, a very good reason, because of clarity.
And doesn't Clarity also like have like a server or like a few servers in the Asia region as well, like the Pug servers or so?
Well, we have the ATF2L Discord server, which does host Pugs
I meant
relating to sixes, and yeah, Clarity does have their own server and Team2.
Yeah, I meant like TF2 wise. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the Asia games I played on, or like the logs I saw would be like Clarity servers.
Yeah, you are correct. Yeah.
And that seems like just like a lot of power for like one individual or like to hold.
Yeah, and also just remember Clarity is Singaporean. So yeah. So most server will take place in Singapore.
Okay.
Over Hong Kong.
So
or Tokyo and stuff like that. So yeah.
How do you feel about Respawn, like RSL, Asian Highlander then? Why don't you think that has really caught on?
Well, basically just a little bit harder. Like it's probably just one division. I've been informed it's just one division, while the Australian RSL have like two divisions. The higher division and the main division.
Well, from what I'm looking at here, like RSL has some Asia-specific seasons, so like for Asian teams and players, and a lot of the time it's like one division as well. So I'm just wondering, like, why it might not have caught on.
I think most, like when I used to play for, when I used to play for Evo. When I used to play for Evo stands for League of Super Evil. No, Lose. It was called Lose. When I used to play for Lose before the start of 2021, or during the start of 2021, like I used to play for Lose, Leagues of Super Evil.
Right.
Like we do UGC Highlander, and when I say UGC Highlander of Asia, I meant before ATF2L was made by Submarine himself, and we used to do Asia RSL. So basically back in like 2020 in fall, like back in like fall winter of 2020 is that I play and lose. The reason why I play and lose is that I was more appealing over their actual player, which is named Epic Window. Epic Window is a heavy player as well, but yeah, I'm more consistent. So that's why I was actually doing Platinum division in Asia, UGC Highlander actually. So yeah, and yes, the grand final of All Highlander was also being casted by QuickCast during that time. But yet during that time, most of the people do not care about that, so it was basically a joke. And they say that getting third place in Asia UGC Highlander is actually much more fun over doing the grand final.
So why do you think that is though? Like, why do you think Respawn League had issues with their Asian division?
It basically it's just one whole division. It just do one whole division because of not many TF2 players who actually play competitively or actually bear out competitively.
So it was like they just like the player base was just a little bit split, kind of like it was a little too split.
No, I'm talking about like a lot of good people within that division, like good team inside that division. So it basically one-sided, can be one-sided.
Right, but that would be the same from Respawn League to UGC, right? Because like they're both one division.
Are you talking about UGC or RSL?
Both. Like both of them for their Asian thing.
Oh yeah. It can one-sided based on how many good players they have within that team. There are no splitting.
Oh no, I was thinking of South America, which had one division for UGC. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. I see what. Never mind. I'm just being dumb. Capture what I'm recording. Okay, carry on. I'm sorry.
Okay. So any more or not really?
Let's see. You said you're feeling a little bit burnt out at one point, right?
Yes.
So what did you directly think you can do to like kind of counter that? Like, I know you kind of covered that already, but like, do you have anything in specific?
Just take it nice easy. Maybe take it nice easy. Basically just take it nice easy. But eventually in my life is that I may going to take a break from third party competitive, but that is the hard part.
Okay.
Like it give me a purpose, but yet me taking a break on that purpose is that it can be beneficial, but yet it's hard to break out. And that can make me really worn out, but yet I need to find a way to pick up my pace or I will be completely washed out. How many players that you know who are washed out?
I feel like quite a few. Like, it feels like a lot of the players these days, like, just kind of force themselves to play for the sake of playing.
Yeah, you are correct, yeah. Like, will Yori be a good example?
I'm not as familiar with Six's players, but probably, yeah, if you think so.
Yeah. I met Yori back in TF2 Center. And when he stream on Twitch, mostly he does CSGO on Twitch. So yeah, but yet, Yori does have a purpose on what he wants to do in his life, and that is not my problem. But yet, that is a good example of a person who can be washed out or get completely burnt out in general, and try to do a different purpose in life of enjoying CSGO also. So yeah.
Okay. I just have two closing questions. One, do you think are there any people you'd like to see interviewed?
Any other people?
Yeah.
People that isn't related to Banny, because Banny is a good choice of being interviewed, but I think go for people, that's a really good question. What about Veg? What about Veg?
Veg.
Veg.
I'm pretty open to the idea of like what like pretty much anybody has to offer. Yeah, it's just depending on like what they'd want to talk about, how comfortable they are talking about it, just those sorts of things.
I know Veg stream on Twitch. That's what I know.
Okay, so yeah, maybe
Veg does stream on Twitch wherever he can. Like he did not do it. constantly. He does do it time to time. That's what I meant. Like interview Veg.
Okay. And then, other question, are there any people you want to shout out, like competitive players, casual players, community figures, even if they're not like competitive ones, like people who run servers and whatnot?
Lighty, really cool person. Jay from Voice Tech, very cool person. Super Lychee, very cool
Yes.
Dunkin' Donut employee, very cool, very cool Dunkin' Donut employee. You yourself, Nofo, Kamoki-chan, nice people that I met within the Twitch community and the Team42 communities. So yeah, I have a lot on the list, but yeah.
Okay then.
I gotta be thankful on people who allow me to improve as an individual. And maybe a little bit from the negative people as well, but yet mainly on the good people who have their logic, much better logic than me. Or people who are pretty cool in general. So yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I think.
And also, do think the good part to people from Opera Petrol Station as well. People who like to play at a regular in that server. Sell it for them.
That's
Really
pretty
cool
respectable.
people. Yeah.
Um.
Like Opas and Conrad, Coleridge, Palpuka, etc.
Oh yeah, who's your favorite RGL admin?
I don't keep track of that.
Fair enough. That's all I got then. You're free to go.
Thank you for the interview, and thank you for giving me a heads up on when to do the interview. Thank you.
Of course.
Like I was streaming and like I checked on my Steam overlay, like I noted like, hey, like and then I check and like, hey, are you interested to do an interview? Like, yeah, so while I was streaming. So I was streaming on Open Festival Station and I was spending my time interacting with you while trying to stream and try to play the game itself. So
Oh no.
thank you for the heads up. And yes, you know that Open Festival Station does have a auto kicker as well. So
yeah. And it's like super hard to get back into the server, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I think
it usually be harder to get back in later when I saw in my stream late or after the Highlander scrims. So yeah.
Okay. I think I will end the interview then. Well, yeah.
Yeah.